So the Atari VCS is not a scam. According to Atari, anyway. Sounds like something a scammer would say if you ask me. So welcome back, guys. Today, or tonight, in the middle of the night, I decided to do a follow-up on my previous video concerning the Atari VCS. So there are a lot of Emotari out there. And you might ask yourself, what's an Emotari? An Emotari is an emotional Atari VCS supporter. It's true. There's a lot of them out there. Kind of crazy if you ask me. So my previous video, I think it did very well. Opened a lot of people's eyes up to some skepticism, some of my thoughts, receiving and consuming some information that you may have not known about. And a lot of people perceived it and received it and consumed it differently than others. And I don't think there's any way to really convey that message properly to those people. It's just impossible. But what you really need to do is you need to strap in, buckle up, and set your emotions aside. You need to leave your emotion out of this. It's really what it boils down to. So, a lot of people dwelled on the Tempest 4000 faked footage fiasco. And in my video, we didn't really talk about that a lot. I don't think that was the focal point of my thoughts. It was an interesting bit of news. And even with some new things coming to light, it didn't change my thoughts on it. But to touch on that a little bit, Llamasoft did come out fairly, a short while after that news had broke and a lot of people were talking about it, that, hey, Tempest 4000 is going to be on the Atari VCS. Don't worry about why, how, don't worry about details, it's going to happen. Doesn't matter. What you want to see, you'll see it, that kind of thing. Kind of strange, a weird little message, but, could be a little bit lost in translation there. But I think that was kind of all beside the point. Because even what I discussed was, Atari is the publisher for Tempest 4000, so I had no doubts the game was going to be on the VCS. I even said so. But the point is that Atari has shown nothing, essentially. This faked footage fiasco, Atari did this to themselves. And they and Llamasoft had to do the damage control behind it. So in that footage, they have a monitor up, of a TV, whatever, Atari VCS right there, somebody using the classic controller in Tempest 4000 on the video. Some could say that's misleading if it wasn't actually playing on the hardware. But others, till the day the earth dies, will say, no, Atari stated that all this is for illustrative purposes, to show what could be. I don't think we want to know what could be. We want to know what is. I'm a skeptic at heart, and believing something has to be seen, in my opinion. Seeing is believing, essentially, right? And Atari hasn't shown me anything to make me believe in what they are doing. There's a problem with all this, in my opinion, and it's beyond the faked footage. It's beyond the stuff that I talked about with their previous campaigns that they've been tied to in one form or another. With Fergal Mac, or Fergal Mac, whatever the heck his name is, with his involvement in the project and his involvement with other scams. It's further than that. It goes further than that. Atari themselves state that they have really good financial footing, that they're okay financially, they're good. Well, what company that is supposedly a big company that a lot of people know needs to go to crowdfunding needs to seek investments from the general public, because that is what you're doing. You're investing in Atari. You're not buying anything, you're investing. You're giving an investment with a hopeful potential return of an Atari VCS console. I'm not here saying that you won't get your Atari VCS console. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is why does a company that supposedly is doing fine financially need to go to crowdfunding for the general public to give them a loan? That's typically not how it works with a big company. Typically not how it works with a lot of companies. It is 2018, the world is a little different, crowdfunding is a thing. But I think we need to be skeptical with some of that stuff. When you're being asked to put your money down for something that they cannot show, a real investment firm, a real company that deals with investing in companies and potential products and stuff like that, who are willing to put up the risk, they need to see something a little more substantial than just faked footage and pictures. They need to see actual reality, not illustrative purposes. They need to see, facts. And I've not seen a lot with the Atari VCS to make me say, you know what, this is going to be the thing. This is going to be the hot thing. I haven't seen any exclusives. Tempest 4000, that's going to be on the PS4, the Xbox One, and PC. What else is going to be on there? Atari 2600 games, so we could play that in numerous other places and ways. Where's the real meat in this gaming buffet called the Atari VCS? Where is it? Only time will tell, to be honest. But besides all that, the investment, I mean, you're taking a risk. Just plain and simple, you're taking a risk. If you're willing, or you have put in your $200, your $300, your $400, you have to be doing so being comfortable being an investor. An investment's a risk. There's no guaranteed return. You're not guaranteed anything. You have to be comfortable with that. And if you're comfortable with that, fine. I don't care what you do with your money. What I do care about is the gaming community and the gaming industry in general. And I'm skeptical when these companies go to these crowdfunding sources to look for investments from not investors, but from the general public. Especially on Indiegogo, where you don't have to prove anything. That's what concerns me. So with the Atari VCS, as of the recording of this, in the middle of the night in my dungeon here, they're currently at around 11,000 backers, $2.8 million, 17 days to go. That number could full well double, possibly. It might not, it might go beyond that. Who knows for sure? Until those 17 days are up. Hopefully all these ads they're putting up on YouTube and Facebook, maybe it pays off and they get 5 times the amount. 50,000 backers, I don't know. Could be interesting, right? It's only time will tell. 17 days. We'll find out. But with those numbers, I am concerned a bit, because it ties back into some of my other thoughts. As far as I've not seen exclusives, I've not really seen any AAA developers, I've not seen any big names come out and say they're doing stuff for this or show anything that they're doing for this. Because why, if you're not a if you're a company that's really looking to make some money, how much of a risk is it to put in money and time, manpower, to develop for something that potentially could only sell 11,000, 20,000, 50,000 units? And then when you really look at it, even if you sold 50,000, if you sold 100,000 units, not every person who buys a unit is going to buy your game. The attach rate to games is not 1-to-1. It just doesn't work that way unless it's bundled. So how many companies are going to take that risk and develop games for this system? It's yet to be seen. That's why I'm skeptical. That's why I'd rather see a company prove themselves They have the financial footing. They're doing well financially according to themselves. Why do they need your money? They need your money because they'd rather you take the risk than they take the risk. And that's what the problem is. They don't want to risk going into bankruptcy once again. This company has died multiple times. It's been reborn multiple times. Different directions, different people involved. The Atari we know now is not the Atari from 40 years ago. No one involved with Atari back in its heyday is involved now. It's not the same company. It's just a name. It doesn't mean anything. And that's what they're banking on, that nostalgia. The people who love the Atari name that want to see a comeback, a strong comeback. Atari hasn't had a strong comeback. There's another system that's coming out there that has been announced by Tommy Tallarico, the Intellivision, the new Intellivision. He's stated he's not going to crowdfunding. Okay. I'm still skeptical though, dude. Why? Because I don't see there being room for devices like this without some kind of special angle. And the special angle of, well, we're going to have Atari games, we're going to have Intellivision games, means nothing, essentially, other than to those people who are extreme fans of those names. Is there room in the market for another device that plays games that are available everywhere else on multiple other systems on PC? I don't think so. When the Ouya came out, there was a lot of developers behind it. There was some big names behind it. It sold decently well numbers, but not enough to really push games the way that you would hope. It didn't do the numbers of like a Nintendo Switch, a PlayStation 4, an Xbox One. And ultimately, for numerous other reasons, the Ouya failed. No little side console outside of the big three has gotten into this market and made any kind of real impact. Will Atari change that? Maybe. But the way it's looking with their previous history, with the company that they are now, with the way they're going about things, I don't think so. I don't see it. Do I believe this thing won't come out? No, I believe it'll come out, but I believe it'll fizzle out and just disappear after a while, a year or two. People will be sitting down looking at it like, wow, this plays games that I could play on my PC. Why did I buy this thing? That's the future I see with this device. Ultimately, my thoughts, my ideas, the facts, the information, my opinions that I've shared between my previous video, this video, ultimately all it is to say, hey, be skeptical, be wary of these things. I don't want anybody to be scammed. I care about the gaming industry, the gaming community. I don't want to see you guys hurt, man. I really don't. I hope this thing is the most awesome system in existence. I hope it does great, but I just don't foresee that happening. That's it, guys. Just want to talk about it for a minute. I was in one of those moods in the middle of the night. Couldn't get this off my mind. Think about it. I will catch you guys next time. Peace out. Bye-bye.